Hello, everyone. This is Belle. The following story is Good Boy by Hurt Me Plenty, narrated by Belle B8. I hope you enjoy it. Edgar looked up when the shadow fell over him. It wasn't immediately obvious what he was looking at. It was so close that his view of it was somewhat distorted by perspective. He could tell, however, that it was very, very, very large, and very, very close to his face. What it was an expanse of sort of black fabric. That black that looks like it was once black, but it's been through the wash several times, so it no longer looks like the abyssal color of that darkest and most obsidian part of the night. It's a sort of faded, charcoal gray color that your brain still reads as black. It was perfectly smooth. Not a single wrinkle, fold, or crease marked the fabric, which had once been very black. Instead, the curve of it stretched from edge to edge in his vision, occupying his entire field of view. There were only two features to speak of on this plane of darkness. One was a small hillock, which was also black, but stuck out at approximately eye level, and the other was the plain of white. The black ended. It had a definite border, and a southerly one at that. Beneath that, instead of black, everything was inverted. White ruled supreme in this kingdom. Chilly, pallid, pale, and delicately smooth. It contrasted with the black to the point where they complemented each other. The entire tableau moved slightly as the bus jolted a little. There was a throaty sound somewhere in the region of a growl, and one that wasn't from the engine. Edgar looked up. Above the black, abutting it from the north, was a mountain range. Like the small hillock, these mountains were also circular, sticking out from the arid plain of blackness. But unlike the hillock, these were mighty things that soared from the low-level terrain in a towering crest, the two peaks cresting the plain to a degree that it almost didn't seem possible that Edgar could see what was beyond them. But he could. It was a face. A very unimpressed face. Narrow eyes ringed in smoky black makeup. A haircut that was also black, choppy, and made its owner look like she absolutely, positively, definitively was not in the mood for any shit. The plane moved. It was so vast that from this low angle looking up, Edgar felt like the entire world was moving beneath him, like he was the sun looking down upon it. But it was just her, shifting to get a better look at him. "If you're quite finished staring," she said. Edgar flushed. His eyes were so wide they had practically popped out of his head at what he saw. She dominated his entire field of vision by dint of the fact she was so large that nothing else was visible. There simply wasn't the room. Her stomach appeared so big that Edgar was almost confident he could have curled up inside it with room to spare. Heaven only knew how she'd found a black vest top that covered a generous 80% of it, leaving a huge crescent of pale white underbelly exposed, and inches from his face. I'm sorry, I'll move. Please take my seat," Edgar gabbled. "No, I prefer to stand," she said in her husky tone. Edgar was still in the process of rising, so she barked a simple command. "Sit." Edgar sat. "Where are you going?" she asked. Asked was perhaps the wrong word. Demanded was a better fit, but made it sound more forceful. She asked with the same curt tone that people normally used to ask where the secret plans were, on the tacit understanding that withholding the information would lead to them getting the pliers out and asking again after some impromptu dental work. "Home? I've been at work." She eyed him for a moment, at the way he nervously avoided eyeballing the sphere of his stomach so close to his face. It was like watching a tiny spaceship trying to escape a black hole, which, given the color choice of her outfit and her spherical shape, was somewhat apt. Slowly and deliberately, she arched her back. Holding onto the vertical railing at the back of the seat, she used it to shift her center of gravity, pushing out her stomach. The bottom hem of her vest rode up until it stopped just shy of her inverted belly button, exposing enough of the skin of her belly that, when it made contact with the stunned face, it was skin to skin. Edgar let out a small gasp of surprise. "What are you doing?" "Testing you." "Why?" "I want to know what sort of person you are. Are you one of the ones who stares at my belly because you're shocked at how big I am? Or because I'm just your type? There really are only two sorts of people in this world, so which are you?" Edgar gabbled something mindless as his brainstem tried in vain to reconnect. All it could do was replay the moment her stomach touched his face, again and again. He was operating on autopilot, which was why he didn't have the mental fortitude to lie. The second kind, he said, with a stunning lack of shame or self-consciousness. Good, she said. Now, whatever your name is. Edgar, shut up. I take it you're familiar with the concept of belly worship. Nod if you are. Edgar nodded. Good boy. You are going to get off at the next stop, with me. I don't care if that's not your usual stop. It's mine. We're going to my apartment. Once there, you're going to DoorDash a lot of food. Surprise me. While we wait for it, I'm going to take these shorts off. She gestured to the shorts that were clinging to her very wide hips, covering very little of her very thick thighs. They were also black. From the waistband, a black thong protruded, curving up over either side of her hips. It only emphasized their heft and the supple nature of the skin that resided there. Once removed, you will be permitted to have full access to my stomach while I lie down and have a rest. Once the food arrives, you will collect it, and then feed it to me. Afterwards, you will admire how much I've grown, and tend to my stomach and the brood I carry within by providing an oil-based massage and belly rubs. Not if you understand. Edgar nodded. Good. You're a quick learner, Edgar. I think you and I will have fun together. If you pass this test and do a satisfactory job of pampering my belly, I will allow you to come back and do it again on another occasion very soon. You will be my boyfriend. Do you understand? Edgar nodded. Good boy. Now, if you agree to these terms, signal your acceptance by kissing me on my stomach. Edgar leaned forward, crossing the 2-inch gulf between his lips and her belly, before planting a soft kiss in the exposed portion of her bump. The skin was taut beneath a slight layer of softness. It was a deliriously delicious combination. He didn't press hard, but hard enough that he could feel the awesome shape of her vast womb, ensconced within her, stretching out the grandiose orb of her belly. He burned to explore the rest of it, to feel whether it was so firm but yielding all over, from the subtle rolls that formed at her back where she arched it, to the protruding nub of her navel. Good boy. You're picking this up fast. Now our stop is coming up, so don't dawdle. It's going to be a long night, and I am very hungry.